Hello everyone. Well, another Numatic, and one I've never actually owned before. This is a Charles or Charlie Boy. This is a wet and dry vacuum. I've nearly got the entire range of Numatic home care cleaners. I think the only two I haven't got are the Hetty cordless and the Henry Micro. And I'm in no rush, to be honest, to buy either of those. They're too similar. I've got Henry cordless, so there's no need to buy Hetty. Just the same, apart from being pink and eyelashes. And the Henry Micro is basically the same as the Henry, but with a different filter. So, I've got a Charles, which is a little bit different. Being blue, and although Charles is very like George, obviously, but doesn't have the shampooing facility. And I think the cleaning tools are different. I think this has the aluminium, lighter aluminium ones. Right then, I didn't think I'd need anything to cut that. Hold on a minute, folks. Let me just fetch my little knife. There we go. So let's have a look at Charlie Boy, made in Great Britain. Right, so first out of the box. So Charles is basically a wet and dry vacuum. Here's the dry filter, only for dry use. The owner instructions. Oh, there's some big hefty ones here. Look at the size of that. No face. Oh, they look odd without a face. Hang on. It's getting reflected. Let me just move my thing up so I can see what I'm showing you. There we go. Look at that. It looks a bit sinister without the smiley face, doesn't it, that tall one? He may be taller than Charles and that unnamed Numatic, but he can't see or speak, bless him. So here's the instruction book, mainly pictures, aren't they, of Numatics. And the women seem to wear all white, don't they, in these. So there we go. Don't know why. It always shows you fitting the face. I've never had one. Actually, I'll tell a lie. I did unbox one that didn't have the face fitted, but that was unusual because normally they all have the face. Oh look, it's showing that big one, look. Right, that's the instructions. Not opening these, you know the drill. Crevice tool, dusting brush, upholstery nozzle with the slide-on brush and the little adapter enabling you to put any of the small tools directly onto the hose end. And speaking of the hose, here we have the hose. This is certainly longer than the dry hose that you get with George. That comes quite a short hose, and it's a different... George doesn't have this screw-in connector, does it? It's more of a sort of bayonet fitting, as far as I remember, yes. But this is, you know, the more standard Henry type screw-in hose. That's the handle end. This, what's this? I think this might be the wet pickup nozzle. Yes, this is the Squeegee. I didn't tell you the model number of this Charlie Boy, did I? I'll tell you it. What is it? It's a CVC 370. So this is just, well, I suppose you could use it for dry pickup on a hard floor, but it's mainly used for wet pickup, I would say, because it's got two squeegees and two little wheels. You've got the parking bracket on that as well. So there we go. That is your wet pickup nozzle. Need to adjust my thing again. There we go. Charles comes with the traditional standard metal based carpet and floor nozzle, similar to the one Henry used to be supplied with, but personally, I know some people disagree with me, personally I like the new nozzle that the Henry comes with. Seems to perform better than this one. I think this George has got a higher wattage. I'll check that for you. Anyway, you know what that looks like. You've got the foot operated pedal that lowers the brush for doing your hard floors, and you've got your litter pickers. So there we go. It's got the bracket, the parking bracket as well. Next we have, so yes, it does have the lighter tubes as supplied with, what's his name, what's that model, James, is it James? Yes, the yellow one. Also comes with jack, got a jack too, the Tesco exclusive jack. So there we are, 2 lightweight tubes, just push together. How many bags do we get? I don't think there'll be a bag fitted in this one, just as George didn't have a bag fitted because it had the float valve in it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 bags. These are NVM 2BH. I think they're different, are they? I think they're bigger than the standard Henrys, because it's a bigger. Yeah, that looks bigger. That looks huge. Ooh, better get a lot of dirt in that, won't I? It's almost like a pillow case. Oh, here he comes. Look, Charles. You can see where you've come to live. Not many vacuum cleaners come to live in a house like mine. You'll certainly never be lonely, I can assure you. Apart from all your Numatic friends, there's so many others you can chat to, if they want to speak to you, of course. Some of them might not want to speak. Yeah, so it is very like George. Got the cable. Doesn't have, of course, the tidy cable storage, does it? It just has a hook. So that's how you'd put the cable. I wouldn't really, unless you were desperate for the wet pickup, I wouldn't really recommend Charles for, you know, all round the home cleaning. They're not the most convenient. I think the more convenient pneumatics, in my experience, are the compact ones. Compact Hetty and the Henry cordless and the Hetty cordless. They're a bit smaller and lighter. There is a compact Henry, but it's not widely available, I don't think, in the UK. On the top, it is very like, let's see, it's very like the George. In fact, probably is the same as the George. You can see even here, look, where there would be the additional switch for the pump. And obviously George does have a bit that sticks out to connect the shampoo solution tube to. Still get the warning, if liquid is discharged from the exhaust, switch off and empty. This was made, by the looks of the date wheel, it was made in December 2016. It's been hanging around a while, hasn't it? Got your fixed handle, unlike the folding one on the regular Henrys. So there's Charlie Boy's hat, head, motor unit, whatever you want to call it. And here's the... oh, it's come away. Shouldn't be like that. Oh, phew. I thought I'd lost my ball. Now that shouldn't be like that, but anyway, it will clip back together. So that's your float valve. That's basically a ball that rises up inside this little cage as the machine fills with water, and it blocks the suction off. So never use, when you're picking up water with a Charles, never use it without this, and then you've got your washable mesh. So that clips into here. That's a bit naughty, isn't it, not having it in place? I don't know why. I think perhaps somebody was in a rush to get home and thought, oh, we'll just dump it in. I'll take that off, could make it easier. We'll just dump it in the bin and somebody will be able to assemble it. But little did they know that their laziness of wanting to get home early was going to be shown to everyone on YouTube. Well, everyone who watches this. Right, well it's in. It's in, and there's a little valve that will block that off when it's full, and in turn will block the suction off. You'll know when that happens because it won't pick up anything, and the motor will sound a little bit higher pitched. Let's pop this back on. What I might do with this, because it's a big capacity, I might do a big mess test with this one. I know a lot of you would like to see that, wouldn't you? Because this is bigger than a Henry, bigger bags, I'm sure they're different. So there we go. And here's the bin. Oh, again, just like George, we've got a little bit of, look at that, shall I sell that on eBay? Genuine Charles shaving. I don't think so. It's funny seeing it in blue. There we are, it's the inside. That's where we push the bag on. Got the nice additional handle, very useful for emptying Charles when he's full of liquid. Tip him up, or maybe that way would be better. Because if you tip Charles up that way, it's obviously going to start coming out of his nose, isn't it? And could go everywhere, so possibly that's the way to tip it out. There's his smiley face. You got your two, so very robust, two swivels and two fixed wheels. So yeah, it feels very like a George. And then you've got your little parking debris. Shall we put a bag in? We'll put a bag in him. I can never remember which way these bags go in. I think it's that way. Shout out now if I'm doing it wrong. Is it this way? Well, let's see. I think it is. Anyway, it takes a little bit of pushing on, doesn't it? To get it right on, you need to push it right into there. I think that's correct. There's the bag, and then for dry use we don't need, in fact you don't put that in, that's for wet use only, isn't it? Wet pickup only. But for dry pickup we do need to fit that. You could use it without the bag, but I wouldn't recommend it. The filter gets very dirty. So the bags are so cheap anyway. There we go, so it's set up for dry. Pop Charles's head back on. Make sure we've got his name lined up how it should be. And sorry about that. Ooh, didn't like that on his ears. You alright, Charlie? Eh? He says he's okay, it's fine. He's a little bit bashful, aren't you? Didn't expect to be opened up here, did you? Eh? I know, they all talk about it in the factory. As they're being made, they say, oh, I wonder if we'll be bought by that Ibasiac bloke. Oh, only the few, the chosen few get to go on Ibasiac channel. Most of them, of course, just end up in people's homes and they get used and abused, and the ones who are even worse off get bought by builders and chucked in the back of vans and really knocked about. Oh, don't worry, Charlie boy. You will get used a bit. You won't get knocked about. You'll remain looking good until the day that maybe I decide to sell you. Eh? So let's push all these together. We'll give Charlie a little bit of a go on the carpet. See how noisy he is. I think they're a bit noisier than... Did we have... Couldn't see an energy label. Not sure if they have to have them, you know, wet and dry models. I think they're excluded. I can't remember seeing one actually on George because it's a multi-function. Right, what have I done with the instruction book? I've so many boxes around me you would not believe. I've had a bit of an unboxing session today. I can't see what I've done with the instruction book. No, I can't see any energy label. I think They're exempt from what I remember. Anyway, we'll have a quick look here at the serial number, etc. So here we go. Numatic International Limited. Chard or Shard is that? I don't know how you pronounce that. Shard, I'm going to say. Chard. Chard. Yes, it's a CH. I'm going to say Chard. I might be wrong. England. CV C372. 220, 240 volts, 50, 60 hertz. So it's, is it 1000 watts it says there? 1000 watts IEC. Here's a number at the bottom, 17202 0750. Right then, let's switch Charles on. Sounds very much like George. You do, Charles. I think you are, mate, more or less. Very like a George, aren't you? But you can't shampoo carpets. So that's why, personally, I've never bought a Charles before, because I've always thought, well, spend a little bit extra and get a George, because it's much more versatile. But if you don't want the carpet shampooing facility, if you just want a very rugged wet and dry vac, maybe a vacuum you keep in your garage, or just one for car valeting, just dry valeting, and the odd wet spillage. Maybe Charles is the one, because Charles is a bit cheaper, isn't it, than a George. Sorry, isn't he? Sorry, Charlie. You can never refer to Numatic vacuums as its. It's either he or she, isn't it? There you go, that's Charlie boy, unboxed and a quick go. I will be doing a little demo of Charles, and hopefully quite soon, now I've got nearly all the home care family, I'll have to get them all out and do a video of them all together. And that's going to be a nice colourful video, isn't it? Lots of different colours. Not just red, we've got blues, yellows, pinks, greens. So, it'll look very colourful. Right then, thanks for watching, folks. Don't forget, check out Roger's Bits and Doings, but adults only, please. If you have any questions about Charles, ask in the section below. Thumb up and please subscribe. Bye for now.